Hello everyone, this is Hidayat Shahid. I'm your lab instructor for ENGR1025U. In this video, I will go over your learning module 5, which you will be working over in your lab exercises for 2 weeks. In this lab exercise, you will design and assemble a machinist vise using SolidWorks, and you will use various tools that you have learned. So let's have a quickly look at it, what you are expected to design. So this is the machinist vise. In this figure, all the components are shown in full assembly. So these are the components you will be designing. The vise consists of this base, and this is a moving jaw, and then it has a plate there, and then there's a couple of screws, and then you have this lead screw. When this lead screw is rotated around, it engages in the threads in this space, and then basically this moving jaw of the machinist vise is it moves along this axis. So in this area, you could place an object that you could be machining, you could be soldering, you could be doing many different things. So the user could basically hold the work object and then do various operations. So in this lab exercise, you're basically designing this machinist vise. In the following slide, all the basic components are shown. There are a couple of pins, a couple of screws, sleeve, and few things around. So in this video, I will walk you through how to do the CAD work. So the first component that I'm going to design part of this exercise is this is called vise lead screw. So this object, when I look at it, it could be created two different ways. I could just think of on top of my head. One is you could create a 2D circle sketch. You could extrude it, and then you could draw another sketch and then extrude it. And then on this surface, you could draw another circle and you could extrude it. And so you could continue on to create the shape. Or you could simply draw a 2D sketch. You could draw a center line right in the middle, and you could scale these dimensions, the diameters dimensions, just specify the radius dimensions along there, and then basically if you draw the half sketch of it, and then you could basically use the revolve base feature to do the revolution and to create this 3D object. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the revolution method to create this vise lead screw. To start, for this lab exercise, you will be working with the IPS unit. The reason for that we're doing is because in North America, the IPS units are still used quite often. So in this lab exercise, you will use that for all the components. So to start the process, I have already created a folder with the our naming convention. I have called it ENGR1025U underscore lab 5, but in your case, you will put your student ID in there. So I'm going to name first part as vise lead screw, and I'm going to save. To draw the sketch, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the top plane, right click on it and look normal to it, and I'm going to go to 2D sketch tool and I'm going to click on the sketch icon, and the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a center line, and I'm going to draw a horizontal center line like that, and I'm going to add the dimension for this center line as 6.25. Now I will create the 2D sketch profile that I will use to create the vise lead screw. I will be using the revolve boss base feature, and I will revolve around this axis. So I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to make more or less a sketch profile that kind of looks like what I need, and I'm going to go a little bit lower there. I'm going to draw this line, and I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to go across there, and then I'm going to come down a little bit and then come around Then I'm gonna go like that, and I'm gonna line up with this, and I'm gonna stop right there. And now I will add the dimensions that I need to create this profile. The dimensions, I'm going to start with this on this side. I will be entering the half of the dimensions that I need, because all I'm doing is drawing the half sketch. So this diameter is supposed to be 20.5 inches. So I'm going to enter dimension here 0.25, because I'm entering the radius. This dimension is supposed to be 0.25 inch, and this dimension is supposed to be 0.131. Enter, and the dimension from here to here is supposed to be, the diameter is 0.375, so I'm going to enter 0.375 divided by 2. For the exact dimensions, please refer to the lab manual. Okay, and then from here to here, the dimension is supposed to be it's 0.5 divided by 2, and this dimension is supposed to be 0.625 divided by 2, and this dimension is supposed to be 3.938. 3.938. Okay, and this dimension is supposed to be 0.25. This dimension is supposed to be 0.813. All right, and this diameter is specified at 0.75, so I'm going to enter this dimension, which is radius, 0.75 divided by 2. I'm going to get out of this. I'm just going to move this up so that I can enter the dimensions properly. And this one is supposed to be 0.25. It's basically 0.5 divided by 2. So now my sketch is fully defined. My sketch profile looks so good. Everything seems to be falling into place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to feature. So after clicking on the revolve feature, I have selected the center line for axis of revolution, and I'm going to select and click OK. So basically this is started looking like the Weiss lead screw, which is shown in your lab manual. And the next feature that I'm going to add on this one is basically I'm going to add a hole there. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of this top plane, and I'm going to click look normal to, and I'm going to add a sketch there. And to add a sketch, is basically the dimensions are shown on the lab manual. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create, I'm going to line up a 2D circle there, and I'm just going to create this circle there. And the diameter for the circle is 0.344. And I'm going to click OK. And the dimension from this point to this point, it's shown as 0.406. 0.406. I'm gonna click OK. My sketch is still underdefined, so I'm gonna fully define it. I'm basically dropping a line there, a center line, so that it's coincident with the center point of that 2D sketch. Basically, it's 2D circle. And now I'm gonna go to feature, and I'm gonna do cut extrude, and I'm gonna cut through both sides and click OK. So this is done. The last features that I need to add is basically the fillets and chamfer. So the chamfer, which is specified, to do that I'm gonna add it there. To do that, I'm gonna click on this fillet. Under there is this triangle there. I'm gonna click on chamfer, and in here I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna select this side after rotating it, and I'm gonna enter the dimensions, this which is 0.025 at 45 degrees, 0.25, and I'm gonna click OK. So that's done, and now I'm gonna add the fillet, and the fillet is on this edge and this edge, and it's supposed to be 0.0625. 0.0625. I'm gonna click OK, and that's it. So this basically completes the vice lead screw, and I'm basically gonna save this file, and I'm gonna move on to the next part, and I'm gonna open a new document. I'm gonna open a part, and I'm gonna save this part as vice screw retainer key. And in your case, you will add your student ID there as well, so that it's identified that that's your work. So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this top plane. I'm going to look normal to, which that's what normally I do. The units are set as IPS by default. That's what I need. I'm going to click on sketch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply draw a 2D circle. And the dimension that I'm going to enter for the circle diameter is basically it's the radius that I want to enter. It will be twice the radius that I have, which is the internal, the inner circle, which is specified as 0.195 radius. So I'm basically going to take is 0.195 times 2, because I'm just entering the diameter. So that's what I have done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to draw a center line from here to here. And now I'm going to draw a horizontal line from this point somewhere there, escape. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. Lined up there, escape. And now I'm going to draw another circle. And I'm going to go to the center point, and I'm going to basically this circle, the radius I'm going to enter is 0.395. I'm just going to enter it right here. So this is okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this one a bit this way, and I'm going to extend this one a bit this way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trimming the sketch profile that I don't need. I'm going to click on trim entities. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to trim this one, and I'm going to trim this. I'm going to trim this, and the sketch looks like what I need. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add now the dimensions. The dimension for this one is going to be 0.395 inch. So that's okay. The sketch is fully defined. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on features. I'm going to select extruded boss base, and I'm going to extrude it by 0.124 inches. 0.124 inches. Save. So basically this is the part that I need. I'm basically going to save my file, and this completes your part 2, which is Y screw retainer key. Alright, now I will create your part 3, which is Y collar. To do that, I'm going to open a new file, new part file, and I'm going to save this file as in the same working folder. I'm going to call it Y's collar. And the units are IPS for this part as well. All the parts are in IPS. So to start the part, I'm going to click on the right plane, look normal to it. I'm going to add a 2D sketch. The 2D sketch basically is going to be, I'm going to start with the circle. I'm going to enter the radius as 0.256, 0.256, and I'm going to add another circle there. The radius for that one is 0.359, 0.359. Click OK. To fully define the sketch, I'm gonna just add the dimensions as in your manual, so that okay, so the sketch is fully defined, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on features, and I'm gonna extrude it by 0.813. So this is okay, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this top face, and I'm gonna look normal to it, and I'm gonna cut the slot in it. To do that, what I need is I need to draw a rectangle. To do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on the sketch, and I'm gonna basically draw a center line. I'm gonna start somewhere there, and I'm gonna end it there. Escape, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a sketch coming down somewhere here, and I can overshoot because I can make a cut anyway. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically move this one up a bit so it coincides with the center line. And now what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna mirror this. Before doing that, I'm gonna add the dimension. The dimension here is I'm gonna add half of it what I need. It's gonna be 0.094 divided by 2. And that's it. The sketch is fully defined. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mirror the sketch on the other around this center line. To do that, I'm gonna select mirror entities. I'm gonna select this line, this line, this line, mirror about. I'm gonna enter this and click OK. And this is what basically what sketch I need. And I'm gonna click on feature. I'm gonna click on extruded cut, and the depth of the cut that I need is 0.125. click OK. I'm gonna, so basically this completes my vice collar. So I'm gonna save this part and I'm gonna open a new part file for your part 4. And this part 4 I'm gonna save as Y screw handle rod. Y screw handle rod. This is a simple part. Um, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create half of the section with the one hole on one side, and then I'm just gonna use the mirror feature. So to create this part, I'm gonna draw a sketch on top plane, and I'm gonna look normal to it. I'm gonna click on sketch, and I'm gonna draw a circle. And the diameter for this circle, I'm gonna specify as 0.311. And this is okay. And now I'm gonna extrude it. And the extrusion, I'm only gonna extrude it by half of the length that I need. And that is gonna be 5.125 divided by 2. I'm entering half of the length that I need because I'm gonna mirror it. Okay. And now I'm gonna select right plane, look normal to. I'm gonna add the hole, and to do that I'm gonna simply draw another circle on this right plane. I'm gonna click on sketch. I'm gonna draw a circle. To draw a circle, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up this one somewhere here, and I'm gonna drop it there. And the dimension that I am gonna specify is the center line to this edge. The distance is 0.125 inches, and the diameter for this one is supposed to be 0.125. And just want to make sure my sketch is fully defined. To do that, I'm simply going to draw a center line, and that defines the fully defines the sketch. And I'm gonna basically exit that, and now I'm gonna select the sketch that I have added, and I'm gonna click on features, and under there I'm gonna select extruded cut, and I'm gonna select through all both sides, and I'm gonna click OK. And now I'm gonna add the chamfer on this edge, on this edge, and this edge. So to do that, I'm gonna click on the chamfer feature. I'm gonna select this edge, select this edge. I'm gonna select this edge, and basically the dimension for the chamfer is 0.025 inches and at 45 degrees. And I'm gonna click OK, and that's is created, but it's only half of the section. So now I'm basically gonna do is I'm gonna select all these features that I have, and I'm gonna go to feature tab, and I'm gonna select the mirror feature under this linear pattern menu, drop down menu. So in here I'm gonna select mirror, and the face that I'm gonna mirror about is this face, and I'm gonna click OK, and there you go. This is what you need, and I'm gonna save this file. And now I will move to your next component. There are two components. One is the it's part 5 and 6. Your part number, whichever way you want to number it. The first one, which is shown in the lab manual, is the pin. The second one is shown is the handle cylinder. So I'm gonna start with the pen, and I'm gonna open a new part. Oops, I'm gonna click on open a new part, and I'm gonna save this file as pen handle pen. It's a very simple part. I'm gonna select and draw a circle on the on top plane, and then I'm gonna extrude it. And I'm gonna click normal to, go to sketch tab, click on sketch, and select 2D circle and draw a circle there. And in here, the diameter for this pen is supposed to be 0.125. 0.125 is the diameter, and I'm gonna go to feature tab, and I'm gonna click on the extruded boss, and the depth or the length is 0.531. And now I'm gonna add the two chamfers which are specified. To do that, I'm gonna click on the chamfer tool, and then I'm gonna select this edge, and I'm gonna select this edge, and the dimension for chamfers is 0.025 inch. And I'm gonna click OK. So this basically completes the pen, and I'm gonna save this file. And now I'm gonna open a new part file, and I'm gonna save this file as handle cylinder. And I'm gonna select the top plane. I'm gonna look at normal to. I'm going to the sketch tab, click on sketch, and I'm gonna draw a circle. And the diameter for this circle, I'm gonna specify as 0.750 inches, and I'm gonna extrude it. I'm gonna go to feature tabs. I'm gonna use extruded boss feature. The length or the depth for this one is 0.75. So this is done, and now I'm gonna add two holes. The first one, I'm gonna select my front plane, and I'm gonna look normal to, and I'm gonna click on sketch, and I'm gonna select a circle, and I'm gonna drop the circle somewhere there, and I'm gonna add some dimensions to fix and this is supposed to be halfway in the middle. So I'm gonna enter 0.75 divided by 2, and I'm gonna draw a center line so that my sketch is fully defined. And the diameter for this one is supposed to be 0.31. And I click OK. So one thing you notice, my circle is right there in the middle. And now I'm going to adjust my depth in a way that it is what I need as per your lab manual. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the feature tab. I will need to make extruded cut. I'm going to make extruded cut in two directions. In this direction, I'm going to simply gonna go through all, so it basically cuts it all the way. And the second direction I'm gonna specify in here, it's not gonna be through all, it's gonna be blind. And this one, all I need is the depth starting from this edge to the total depth is 0.575. So this is gonna be basically I'm gonna add a formula here, and that's gonna be 0.575 minus 0.75 divided by 2. All I'm doing is just basically calculating the depth starting from the sketch, how much deep I need to go in this direction. And I'm gonna click OK. So this one looks okay. Yep, that's all I need. And now I'm gonna add a hole on the top. I'm gonna select this face. I'm gonna look normal too. And I'm gonna go to sketch and I'm gonna draw a circle right in the center. And the diameter for this circle is supposed to be 0.125. I'm gonna click on Smart Dimensions and I'm gonna specify the diameter as 0.125 inches. And once I have done that, I'm gonna go to features and I'm gonna use the extruded cut tool, and I'm basically gonna the depth of that cut is 0.25. Oops, I have another decimal there. So now if I look from this side, it cuts through, so it goes through. That's what I need. And now I'm gonna add the chamfers, and there are 4 chamfers. So I'm gonna first of all select the chamfer tool, and I'm gonna select this edge. I'm gonna select this edge, and I'm gonna select this edge. And I'm gonna select this edge. These are the 4 chamfers I need, but the dimension for the chamfer is 0.065. So I'm gonna change that to 0.065, and I'm gonna click OK. So the handle cylinder is complete. I'm gonna save this file.